Hello and welcome to TV Talks, the show where I take a look at both the good and the bad of what television has to offer. Today's episode is Peanuts. Meet the Peanuts. This is not the right song. And no, I am not talking about the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show. I'm actually talking about a different show, one that's actually quite similar. So in 2014, a French company decided to make an adaptation of Charles Schulz's famous comic, Good Old Charlie Brown, aka Peanuts. And it would be adapted from all the storylines and one-off jokes in the comics, and trying to follow it as closely as possible, while adding very little new stuff in between. And how does it work? For the most part, it does a very good job. Because all the writing comes directly from the comics, all the characters are perfectly on point. And yes, we get to see them all. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Woodstock, Linus, Lucy, Pigpen, my main man Schroeder, and more. And the actors they get to do them are pretty good. Now, Peanuts acting has never been spectacular, given the fact that they're always kids and never child actors. So if you notice, the Peanuts styles, no matter what they are, all the way back from Charlie Brown Christmas all the way up to even the Peanuts movie, they kind of have the same style of delivery. And that's definitely the case here. They try to replicate that style of dialogue. In fact, some of these are actually remakes of Charlie Brown and Snoopy show segments, which those were also directed from the comics, but they're the same ones. And they do the same strip while doing a different delivery. So it's not trying to cash in on the old show. In fact, I don't even know if it's aware of that show. And that's good. It can be its own thing while also kind of doing new stuff while also the same. It's complicated. It's doing the exact same stuff, but it's putting a different spin on it by having different actors and different animation. I'll get to the animation in a second, though. The theme song is alright. It's nothing to write home about. It's never going to touch the Linus and Lucy theme, which actually played when my parents walked down the aisle at their wedding. Just a little fun fact. It captures the Peanuts style of homeliness and down-to-earth really well. They don't try to modernize it by adding any tech stuff or updating the strip. They just take exactly what was written there and then do it. It knows to leave good enough alone and not try to add any extraneous stuff. I mean, there's a little bit different interpretations here and there, like a little bit of a different shot or visual here and there, but it's largely the same. 95% is the same. The only things that are changed, like I said, are just different angles or little art things they decide to put in. Like when Linus is trying to talk to the little red-haired girl on Charlie Brown's behalf and is trying to describe to her what he looks like, and there's all these drawings to illustrate his point. That kind of stuff. That wasn't in the original comic, but still, that was pretty cool to see. It's little artistic things like that. Everything else is exactly the same as the comics. So it's almost like watching one of those e-comics or animated comics that you'd find on the early days of YouTube. And hey, you can still find them here and there. So is this show flawless? No, there's actually one big glaring error, the animation. Now, Peanuts has never really had very good animation. It's always been kind of done on the cheap. And of course, the Peanuts style definitely lends itself to cheaper animation, but this is Flash. Peanuts was not meant to be animated in Flash. It does not look good. Especially when their mouths are facing us. When the side profile is going on, it's okay, but when the mouths are facing us, they look like they're synchrovoxed in. Also, the movements are a little too fluent for Peanuts. Every incarnation of Peanuts, even the new versions, have this jerky motion that just has one pose and then instantly another, that kind of stuff. Very little in between frames. This is just kind of slidey and a little too fluent. And a little too clean as well. The texture stuff that was in the other specials up until the very end just aren't here. But the animation is nowhere close to ruining this show. It's very well done, and I'm disappointed that there was no second season. Kind of. But I'll talk about that in a second. So this gets the Archibald seal of approval? As if there was any doubt. I mean, come on, it's Peanuts. So now that second season. This aired originally in 2014, but it only came to America in 2016, airing on the Boomerang Network, which unfortunately not a lot of people have anymore. But to be fair, Boomerang kind of sucks now, so it's not that much of a loss. And they said that a second season is very likely. However, they want to make sure that it gets to all territories first, as it's not in every kind of country that can get it. Now, what they mean by this is a little vague, and no one's really sure of just what they mean by it. Hopefully it means that we can get more, but it's been 4 years already, so I'm not holding out too much for it. But hey, if it ever comes, that's nice, and if not, well, we could just lump this in as another season for the Charlie Brown Snoopy show by honorable mention, I suppose. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.